Hello students, welcome back to the statistics class. In the previous class, we learned about various factors that are there in continuous frequency. So when you say continuous frequency, it is nothing but where you consider the class intervals. So for example, from 0 to 10, 10 to 20, when you make a particular class, that is called as continuous frequency, continuous class frequency. Okay, so in that we had learned about some of the factors like what is range, what is class limit. Okay, inclusive class, exclusive class, correction factor, open-end class, midpoint, width of the class. Okay, so we all have learned about all these concepts. Next one is of today's class is number of classes. So when you say number of classes, you're sometimes in a problem we require to find the number of classes. So how to find that number of classes? So this was obtained, the number of classes, it was obtained by using using Professor Struk's rule. Okay, using his rule. What is his rule is, according to him is, he says number of classes, that means K, it is noted as capital K, which is equal to 1 plus 3.322 log n. Now when you say log, you have to see a log table. You do not have to worry about this. It is one kind type of formula. Okay, ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ನಿಮಗೆ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ನಿಮಗೆ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ನಂಬರ್ ಇದು ಬೇಕು ನಮಗೆ 1 plus 3.322. ಇದು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಹೇಗೆ ಇದೆ ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. 3.22 log n. So when you say n here, it is nothing but number of observation. It is nothing but number of observation. ಸೊ ಎನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ. ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಲ್ಲ, ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಕಾಲಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಈಚ್ ಬರೀತೀರಾ, ಈಚ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದರ ಟೋಟಲಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಎನ್, ಸೊ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಈಗ we will get a width of the class. Now what is width? Width is nothing but the size, and this size can be also, okay, yavaga ನೀವು number of classes find out ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, okay, when you compute this you can find even the width of the class. How to find? It is nothing but width is noted as C or I, which is equal to range. Okay, highest minus the lowest divided by K. Okay, range andre highest value minus the lowest value. Okay, first ಗೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ divided by K. K ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ನೀವು ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದು ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು. That will give you the width of the class. So do not have to worry much, because when you work out the problems, all these informations you will get. Like then when you compute it, you will get to know how it is. Okay, so you should know about only this formula, that is 1.1 plus 3.322 log n. That is very important, where n is nothing but number of observation, that is total of frequency. Okay, total of frequency. Next concept is cumulative frequency. Now what is cumulative? Cumulative is nothing but you add one value with another value, and that value, okay, so ಈಗ 2, 5, 7, 8, 9. Okay, if you have these values, so first is 2, you add this 2 with the next value, 2 plus 5, that is 7, 7 plus 7. Okay, the value along with the previous value. Okay, 7 plus 7, 14, 14 plus 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that is 22. Okay, so it goes on. So this is a cumulative form. So cumulative frequency andre the added up frequency ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ, ಅದು ನೀವು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಯು ಆಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ into the second frequency. Okay, ನಿಮಗೆ, so here when I did, first will remain same, second one when you do 2 plus 5, okay, it will give you 7, 7 plus 7, that will give you 14. When you add up the frequencies, that will make you as cumulative frequency. Okay, and when you say cumulative, we have two types. Again, it is less than cumulative frequency, more than cumulative frequency. What is cumulative frequency? It is nothing but the added up frequencies. Okay, ಒಂದ್ಸಲ add ಮಾಡಿ ಪುನಃ ಆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು add ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Okay, added up frequency ಗೆ ನಾವು cumulative frequency ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. And there are two types of cumulative frequency. They are less than cumulative, more than cumulative frequency. Now we'll know what is less than cumulative frequency and what is more than cumulative frequency. The frequency distribution formed for less than cumulative frequency against the upper class limit is called, okay, less than cumulative frequency. Okay, if the frequency distribution, okay, of less than, so when you say less than, so nimge illi ella less than kodtare, it should be always less than values. Okay, it will be less than. Okay, the frequencies will be given. Okay, now cumulative, you have to find the cumulative, but it is should be in the less than cumulative form. So how will you find the less than cumulative? So example I have given, weights, that means less than 40. It should be, we do not know where from where, it is from 10 to 40. Okay, so here you can easily find this. Hege illi 50 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, 40 50, 50 ಗಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಯಾವುದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ 40, that means 40 ಗಿಂತ 30 ಮುಂಚೆ 30 ಬರುತ್ತೆ, it is 30 to 40. Okay, that is understood. This is for your understanding. Okay, we have to focus only on the frequency. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ frequency ಬೇಕು. ಆ frequency basis ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು less than cumulative, more than cumulative frequency calculate ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Always remember the frequency distribution. Okay, the frequency distribution formed for less than cumulative frequency against the upper class limit. Okay, so here how to calculate less than cumulative frequency is, the first frequency will remain as it is. First frequency will remain as it is. Okay, here what happens, you do not have to add anything. First one will remain, so 10. Okay, you have to consider it as 10 plus 0 0, no nothing previous that, so 10. When you calculate the second one, you have to add this less than cumulative with the next frequency. That means it is 10 plus 15, 10 plus 15. Okay, it is not like this, it is not like this, it is this value 10 plus 15, which will give you 25. When you calculate the next less than cumulative frequency, it will be 25 plus 20, that is 45. And the next cumulative, less than cumulative frequency is 45, okay, plus 15, which will give you the value as 60. Okay, so always remember, less than cumulative frequency, in this method the first frequency will remain same. First frequency change agudilla, adu same irutte. So illi 10 ide, we are considering as 10. The 10 plus 0 is 10. When you calculate the next one, second cumulative barvaga, okay, it is adding up. Illi ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, add ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. Okay, so next frequency ಬರೆಯುವಾಗ ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೀತೇವೆ, it is 10 plus 15, it is 25. It is 10 plus 15, 25. Okay, 25 plus 20 will give you 45. 45 plus 15 will give you 60. So this is less than cumulative frequency. Okay, hope you understood. So it is formed, okay, against the upper class limit. You have to see the upper class limit, okay, and you have to add it. That is less than cumulative frequency. So hope you understood the less than cumulative frequency against the upper class limit. Okay, that will give you the value of less than cumulative frequency. The second one is more than cumulative frequency. Here when you say more than cumulative frequency, it is nothing but the frequency distribution formed for more than cumulative frequency against the lower class limit. It is in the lower class limit. So how will you find? So here what happens is, one second, you have to go from below. Okay, so when you calculated less than cumulative frequency, okay, when you calculated less than, the first frequency remains same, first same irutte, adre more than cumulative frequency alli, okay, it comes from the lower, from the lowest class, and the ಕೆಳಗಿಂದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, ಕೆಳಗಿಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗು. So the last will remain same. Idu last frequency same irutte. So you have to, what you have to do is you have to add back. You have to add back. That time you will get the more than cumulative frequency, that is 15. First will remain same, okay, and the ಕೆಳಗಿಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. 15 plus 20, that will give you 35. 35 plus 15 will give you 50. Okay, 50 plus 10 will give you 60. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಾವು ಕೆಳಗಿಂದ ಮೇಲೆ, ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ ಕ್ಯುಮ್ಯುಲೇಟಿವ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಳಗಿಂದ ಮೇಲೆ, ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಸೇಮ್. ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಸೇಮ್. Whereas in less than cumulative, the first frequency will remain same. First frequency will remain same. So here it will be the last frequency will remain same. Okay, so here what happens when you say less than and more than cumulative frequency? Okay, so when you say less than cumulative frequency, the number of observations below a certain limit, okay, below the certain limit baruvaga it is less than cumulative frequency, and when the limits are above a certain limit, okay, above the certain limit, it is more than cumulative frequency. This is above the certain limit, and this will be less than the certain limit. Hope you understood. So always keep in mind, in problem you should know, if they ask you less than, when you will not be given to find like less than cumulative, they will give you like this form. Okay, ಈ ತರ ಕೊಡುವಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕು that is less than cumulative frequency. So ನೀವು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, first frequency will remain same, the next will be, you have to take up the less than frequency, add it up with the frequency, that will give you the next less than cumulative frequency. The more than cumulative frequency is, it is above the certain limit, that means the last frequency should remain the same, that is more than cumulative frequency. Okay, next one is frequency density. So what is frequency density? It is nothing but it is a ratio of the class frequency to the width of the class interval. It is a ratio of the class frequency to the width of the class interval. It is nothing but the frequency per unit of the class. Okay, in short, if I have to say, it is the frequency per unit of the class interval. Okay, per unit of the class, per unit and the individual agi, per unit value anna now consider marte, on the basis of what? On the basis of width of the class. Okay, so it is also per unit is, when you say, it is also a ratio form. Okay, first ನೀವು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ width find out ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು frequency density ಅನ್ನು find out ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Now how will you find out this? There is a formula. Frequency density is equal to frequency of the class. ನಿಮಗೆ frequency ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ divided by width of the class. Width ನೀವು find out ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Width ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಂತ? It is nothing but size. Okay, in short, it is f divided by c. I have given an example, class interval frequency. They will give you class interval frequency. I'll ask you to find out frequency density. How will you find out? Okay, what we need? We need the width. Width ಬೇಕು. Okay, so we will first find width of the class. Okay, you can note it as c. Okay, in short, you can note as c. Frequency is f. Now we will find the frequency density. What is the formula? It is nothing but f divided by c. Okay, how to find the width of the class? Okay, how to find the width of the class? It is nothing but the lowest, highest minus the lowest divided by 2. Highest minus the lowest divided by 2. Sorry, it is not divided by 2. It is highest value, highest minus the lowest value. Okay, highest minus the lowest value. If you see here width of the class, how we have found, it is highest minus the lowest. It will be, you will find the size of that, okay, of that particular class. So how to find it? It is 0 to 10. That means 10 minus 0, which is 10. 10 to 30, that is highest minus the lowest. 30 minus 10, which will give you 20. For, sorry, 50, the 30 minus 30 to 50. So 30 to 50, that means, sorry, 50 to 30 it should be. Okay, 30 to 50, that is 50 minus 30, it should be 20. Okay. Next, 50 minus 60, that is 60, highest minus the lowest, that is nothing but 10. 60 minus 65, that is 65 minus 60, which will be 5. So this is the size or the width of the class. E class interval is size. So first ali 10 values ide, second ali 10 class ide, third ali kuda 10 ide, fourth ali kuda 10, fifth ali 5 ide, 60 to 65, the size is 5. Now we will find the frequency density. What is the formula? That is frequency. So if frequency divided by the width of the class. So what is F frequency? That is 10 divided by the class C, that is 10, which is equal to 1. So this is the per unit of the class interval. Frequency per unit of the class interval. Second one nodidre, frequency F. What is F? 15 by what is the size or width? That is 20. So 15 divided by 20, it will give you 0.75. It is a per unit or the ratio form. It is a ratio form. So it is the frequency density. That is nothing but frequency per unit of the class interval. Third one nodidre. Okay. So 40, frequency is 40 divided by 20, which will give you value as 2. Okay. Next one, it is 45 divided by 10, which will give you value as 4.5. And the last one, that is 20 divided by 5, that is 4. Okay, so this values, whatever you got in frequency density column, those are the per unit or those are the ratios of the class frequency to this width of the class. Okay, so if they ask you in the question, what is frequency density? It is nothing but it is a ratio of class frequency to the width of the class interval, or you can say it as frequency per unit of class interval as well. Okay, and how to calculate? It is nothing but frequency irutte nimge, frequency divided by the width, andre a particular class interval idu size tegolbeku. Okay, ಒಂದು class interval alli ಎಷ್ಟು ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು size. What is the size of that particular class? Okay, that has to be divided with the frequency has to be divided with the width. That will give you the frequency density, that is the per unit of the class interval. And the last concept, that is relative frequency. Now what is relative frequency? Here you find the ratio of a frequency of a value of a variable. Okay, you find the ratio of a value, okay, of a variable in the to the total frequency. So total frequency ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ n. Okay, so you are noting as n, capital N, total frequency. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಏನು find out ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ? The ratio of the frequency of a values of the variable, a particular values of the frequency along with the total frequency andre n. So what is the formula? Frequency of a value of a variable andre a particular value to frequency irutte. Okay, so what are these here? These are number of heads, so these are the values. Okay, what are these? These are the frequency. So these are the frequency which you have to divide by the total frequency. Now what is total? This is the total. 2 plus 1 plus 1, that is 4. So that will be noted as n. N is equal to 4. Now how will you find the relative frequency? It is nothing but individual frequency, this divided by the total frequency. Frequency of the value of the variable andre 1 divided by 4. So your relative frequency, okay, how to find out? It is 1 divided by 4. Okay, 1 means the frequency of the value, 2 is the value, okay, other frequency is to 1. So 1 divided by 4, that is the total frequency, which will be noted as n. Okay, so 1 divided by 4, which will give you value as 0.25. Okay, second one, 2 We are not considering any width, nothing. We are focusing only on the frequency. Illi now relative frequency anna find out ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. So here you will get a ratio between the frequency and the total frequency. Okay, so 2 divided by 4, that will give you as 0.50. And the again you will have 1 divided by 4. Idu 4 illinda bantu, this one. Okay, n, the 4 is equal to 0.25. So these values, the ratios what you have calculated based on the frequency and the total frequency is relative frequency. It is relative frequency. So I hope you understood these concepts. So okay, number of classes, here you have to remember, okay, the formula, that is k is equal to 1 plus 3.322 log n. Okay, so when you work out the problem, you can easily understand where you have to find the number of class. Okay, so when you say cumulative frequency, you add up the frequencies one after the another. It is not a continuous, it is a procedural calculation, adding up the frequencies. Okay, and there are two types of cumulative frequency, that is less than and more than cumulative frequency. When you say less than cumulative frequency, the first frequency of the given table will remain same, whereas later on you have to add up the frequency. When it comes to more than cumulative frequency, the last frequency should remain the same. The frequency, the more than cumulative frequency should be equal to the frequency of the last group. Okay, so that is more than cumulative frequency. When it comes to frequency density, it is nothing but the ratio of the class frequency. Illi new ratio annu find out ಮಾಡಿ. It is a per unit. Per unit means it is per value of a particular class, a particular frequency. Okay, that is frequency density. And relative frequency is where you focus on the frequency and the total frequency. Okay, value the frequency ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ, divided by the total frequency ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ relative frequency and the ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so that is also a ratio of a frequency. So I hope you understood these concepts. Please write the notes. Okay, and you will much more understand these concepts when we work out the problems. Practical is where you can easily understand the concepts. So I request you all to listen to the class properly and understand this concept by yourself, so that it will be helpful for us when we work out the problems, especially the open-end class, the less than cumulative, more than cumulative, all these are very important. So give much focus for those concepts. We'll work out the problems in the next class. Thank you, students.